Order, please, if you don't mind. Call the roll.
On the motion, Ross? I'm sorry, Ross. Hamilton?
Here.
Taylor?
Here.
Robinson?
Here.
Baxter?
Here.
Harris?
Here.
Insulaco?
Here.
And Height?
Present.
John Barber, if you come forward, please. Please stand for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening, and we just ask for your grace and your mercy, Lord, as we go about the business of the city. Pray that you would just bring wisdom and knowledge to the leaders here today, that they might make wise decisions for all the people. Do always pray for the public safety of those who serve, Lord, in the police and fire and electric department. Lord, just be with them all as we look to serve people as you have served us. Lord, we do thank you for your grace and your mercy in all things. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second.
Motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Thank you. If anyone wants to pull any communication,
Who did
anyone wants to pull any of the communications? You want to pull
3 and 6, please?
You want to pull 3 and 6?
Yes.
All right. And if that's the case, we'll pull 3 and 6, and then I'll ask for a vote for 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. Say aye.
Well, how about we move to accept and file?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Motion second on accept and file on those.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay, on number 3.
Communication 3.
3, please read it.
Anita Paul, Mayor's Office, memorandum regarding on-premises wine, retail beer on-premises permit, new application number 41012 for Glamour Nails and Lashes, 3200 John F. Kennedy Boulevard by Vicki Nguyen.
Mayor,
Right? Yes, sir.
I have some questions about that. Miss City Attorney?
Yes, sir.
First question is for you. In North Little Rock, are hair salons and barber shops granted liquor permits?
Whether they are granted liquor permits or not, it's the ABC that grants those. And so, I'm sorry, Councilmember Height, but I have not researched this in advance. I know that they can apply. It's up to the ABC whether to grant it or not. It looks like Diane may have some information on this, so I'm going to defer to her.
In the past, have we approved liquor permits for barber shops or nail salons?
And I know that.
Or for hair salons?
Yeah, I know that like Dogtown Barber Shop, I believe, has a beer permit. Am I correct? I'm gonna.
Let me,
Diane
if you
knows more
don't
about
mind,
the-
we've done some research on this today. I do, Mr.
Okay.
Height, so Ms. Whitby.
So some of these salons do not have a license, but they do serve beer or wine to their clients. However, we have had one on JFK, Posh, that had a wine and beer license from the Alcohol Beverage Control Board. That lady sold the business, so it has not been licensed in the last 2 years. She is the applicant on the license that's before you tonight. And as far as Councilmember Height had reached out to the office earlier and wanted a list of all of those type businesses on JFK in Wards 1 and Ward 2, which were provided to him earlier. And as far as has the council approved that, you had accepted a communication previously. So all you're doing on a communication is accepting and filing.
Right. Well, okay. Well, my other next question was, how many nail salons are there on JFK from A Street in Ward 1 to North Hills Boulevard in Ward 4? And they got the answer for me. There's a total of
11.
there's a total of 13 nail salons on JFK from A Street to North Hills. They also got me the information that there are 35 total nail salons in the city of North Little Rock, none of which have a liquor permit. None of which have a liquor permit. And my next question was, do we want to open a floodgate for nail salons to receive liquor permits if we approve this one? Because it's going to get to a question of competition, that if we approve one, then another one, and then it's going to be like dominoes. They're all going to want to have
And-
liquor in order to be competitive.
Right, and, Councilmember Height, that would be, the ABC gives elected officials an opportunity to present comments in favor of or against,
But
alcohol permits. And so if you are against this, then as an elected official for the city of North Little Rock, it would be appropriate for you to, and I think that there's even a form to submit a public comment and
So
express to the ABC.
my
why it
question
is
would
that
be
you're-
then, if the ABC approves it, do we have to approve it?
And
If
I
the
would-
ABC says jump off a cliff, do we have to jump off the cliff?
And this is a new question for me that I have not researched in advance, and I don't want to give you an incorrect answer to that, so I'm going to defer and do some research on that for you, Councilmember.
The other
White.
question I have about this particular application is, how close is it to Park Hill Baptist?
I do not know.
It's in the parking lot owned by Park Hill Baptist.
And that's something that the ABC will take into consideration because that's their rules about the distance from churches.
Don't we have a rule, though, that liquor stores or convenience stores have to be a certain amount of footage from churches or schools?
And I'm not, we do, and again, this is, new to me today, and I am happy to do the research. And, if you have these kind of questions for the city attorney and for my office in advance of a city council meeting, then I'm happy to do that research before the meeting to have the answers then if I can. But since I haven't had that opportunity, I'm gonna have to tell you that I
Well,
can't spout it off the top of my.
Miss City Attorney, I can tell you this right now, I'm opposed to a nail salon. Even though it's not in my ward, I'm opposed to a nail salon having a liquor permit, and I'll be voting no tonight on accepting and filing.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Height, and I will, do some research into your questions.
All right, so we haven't accepted on, number 3. What, I'm sorry, Ms. Ross, I'm sorry.
Just one thing, another thing that, that brought to mind, though, while you're looking into this, I think the question would be, is this strictly for their customers, or is it basically going to be like a bar, an open bar to anybody in the neighborhood? Because if you have a permit, I mean, it's basically, it's anybody, I guess. So that would be something else to look into.
Okay, and, the city clerk is so good after these city council member meetings when she is doing the minutes, when these specific questions come up, because I haven't taken notes. Diane, when you're doing the minutes, if you would please remind me of the questions that have been asked of me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly don't want to make anybody look bad.
Well, now you're through with 3. So what was the other one you
I'm
pulled?
opposed to this.
I understand, we haven't voted on it, but what about the communications? Do you want to accept this and go ahead, go forward with it?
On this one, we need a motion
That's
to
what I was
accept
about
and
to accept
file.
and file. There's a motion to accept and file number 3 on communications.
On the motion, Ross?
Oh, we need a second.
There you go.
Was there a
We
second?
had a
Yes.
second, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I got you. On the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
Yes. Yes.
Taylor? Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
No,
Okay. What was the other one we pulled from
Number
this?
6.
Was
Number
6,
6.
all right.
have that read in its entirety, please.
Okay.
Read it entirety, it's number 6.
This would be Cass Rifkin, email to Councilmember Height regarding vacation rentals in the city of North Little Rock. Dear sirs, I believe you are both my representatives for the City Council. I understand that the issue of VRBO and Airbnb is coming up for a vote and discussion to the City Council. I would like for you to consider my opinion when you vote. I have literally stayed at both of them all over the United States and Europe. They make being in a new city much more friendly and comfortable than hotels, and in my opinion, safer. As you know, the renters leave reviews of the place, and the renters write a review of the renter. There are many reasons people rent a room in their home or the whole house. Sometimes it saves someone from foreclosure, and I met a woman who has done it for years so she wouldn't be lonely after her husband died. They are rented by people who want to visit the area while traveling alone and like to feel they have someone to reach out to in a new city, or they might be a traveling medical nurse or had their house burned down. What I'm trying to say is there are many great reasons for someone to rent without wanting a house party. I do think there is some potential for that to happen, so I would like to suggest if the police come to the house more than 3 times in a year, that the person loses their license. Many people want to protect their property and their ratings, so will be scrupulous about who they allow. If the homeowner isn't taking time to study the reviews, then they shouldn't be in this business. I have heard people having fears of the short-term renters. Personally, I fear more a permanent neighbor with constant barking dogs moving in, or neighbors that make bad choices having visitors racing down the streets. Let's not give in to unsubstantiated paranoia. It also gets more tax dollars spent in our city, and people can try out a neighborhood to confirm their choice to move there or not. Having them with restrictions is a win-win in my opinion. Please make North Little Rock a welcoming city. Thank you for the work that you do. Sincerely, Cass Rifkin.
Thank you. Move we accept and file.
Second.
Motion second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Thank y'all very much. Let's start with presentations. If I may, I'll ask Mr. Davis to come forward, please, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I gave you all an update of Burns Park for your reading pleasure a little later. If you have any questions or anything about where we're at right now and what the next steps are, you can feel free to reach out. I have 3 gentlemen up here with me tonight who have been here since, kind of interesting, but you know, our city council and mayor years ago decided that we should have a group of people called Crowder Gulf under contract in case something happened. And that contract was renewed this year on
March 6th.
March the 6th. And so on March the 31st, when the tornado came through our city, Crowder Gulf, Howard Turner, who happens to be here tonight, and they immediately reached out to us and said, hey, we're watching this on the news, we're ready to go. And so this was on Friday, if you remember. On Sunday, we were having our first meetings in person with Crowder Gulf. And also with me here, so this is Howard Turner from Crowder Gulf. They're out of Mobile, Alabama. And then Tommy Webster, who is over Tetra Tech in the area. And they were our monitoring company. And also John Tilley, who's been here the entire time. Tetra Tech, what they do is they follow everything that Howard and his crew are doing. They follow them, they take measurements, they weigh, they take pictures for FEMA requirements. These guys are professionals in dealing with FEMA, so it was a great help for us throughout this process. They are cleaning up and they're about to leave our town. And we're thinking that by the end of this week, they'll be out. And they're taking their heavy equipment out now out at Burns Park. I couldn't talk them into repaving the roads in Burns Park, but they are. But we are working on that. So you guys, Howard, you want to say,
Howard?
come up and speak just a second and kind of.
Thank you very much. I would just like to say thanks to the city council, the mayor, the staff, and everybody for having the confidence and trust in us to come in to clean up after a disaster which turns everything upside down. Our goal is to bring everybody back to normal as soon as we can. The right-of-way streets we completed in just a little over a month and cleaned those, but the park was obviously a different situation, and we're there now and we finished. But it was a massive cleanup, but I believe we did an excellent job, and by the cooperation of everybody within the city, it has gone very smoothly. So we appreciate all your help, and thank you, and sorry we had to come, but we were glad to be able to help you.
Thank you, Howard. Appreciate it. John? Is John gonna say anything? Wait a minute. I gotta have John say something. I play golf with him. He loses to me every time. I'm gonna hate to see you guys go.
Yeah, I'm funding,
Been a real pleasure. I've been on 20-plus of these projects, and nowhere have I worked with a better group of people, and we're just honored you let us come in and help do the job.
Thanks, John. Tom?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council members, the staff. I was here on the 1st, April 1st, the day after the tornadoes, and I met with Kim and everybody at the EOC, and it was immediately evident to me. I've been doing this work for over 20 years. It was immediately evident to me that you are a cohesive group that pulled together as one. I was never seen it to the degree that I saw it here. So as these gentlemen said before, it was an honor to work here for you guys and to get you back up to normal as quickly. I rode through the park today. It looks fantastic. A lot of work went on there. I can say that the initial estimate that we had for debris here was somewhere a little south of 100,000 cubic yards, and we're well over 500,000 cubic yards now, I think. So yeah, so it's been a great project for us. It's been an honor to work for you, and also we were able to now we've got a contract, a pre-event contract with the city to take us through the next 5 years. So like I said before, if there's anything you need us for in the future, do not hesitate to call. We love being here. Thanks.
I love to see you, but I don't really want to see you ever again the rest of my.
Hey, look, everybody always says it's great to meet you. Hope we never see you again.
Exactly.
that's when I cry.
Anybody from the council like to say anything to them, guys? Anybody? Thank y'all for what you've done, Mike. Great job, and all the city employees, thank y'all for what you've done. It's been a terrific effort. See y'all in a little bit. Thank you very, very much. All right, we're moving on to, I think, unfinished business. I don't think there was anything else, right, on presentations? So, okay. Taylor?
O-2348, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
Okay. An ordinance granting a special use to allow a type 1 short-term rental in an R2 zone for certain real property located at 309 West 7th Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas.
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded.
On the motion, Ross,
Yes?
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco. And Height.
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross.
Yes?
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco. And Height.
Yes.
And I would just like to say thank you for Mr. Stroth for his patience as we worked through the kinks in our new short-term rental ordinance and learned how to communicate better between departments. And so thank you all.
Thank you. Hey, man, you've been here more than some of the city council members lately. Ms. Ross first, though.
You had
No,
to work for this one.
Just going forward, as long as we know that it was an existing,
Right.
that was the key, that we were not told that it
Yes.
was an existing, because there would have been none of this coming back if we
Right.
had known. And so I apologize on that one for sure,
Yeah,
but.
so, and so thank you for your patience and your forbearance with us.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you very, very much. All right. Consent agenda? If anyone wants to pull anything for the consent agenda, that would be items R-23-150 through R-23-154, if I'm not mistaken. Ms. Ross, I'm sorry.
R-23-153, can we pull it just because I have a question on that one?
Okay, they're here, so, who you want to ask? Go ahead, ask the question if you want to, or you want to go ahead and do it afterward?
Do you want to?
You need to go ahead and
Hey,
do
go
the
ahead
other-
and go through
do
if
the
you don't
others
mind.
first,
Let's
yeah.
do that. So I'm going to ask for an aye on all the R-23-150, the 123-154 voice vote, please.
Yes?
All in favor?
That's what I was about to say. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, say no or nay. Therefore? And you wanted to ask a question, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's
Right.
call
I'm
it.
Need to
going-
call R-23-153, call that one, then. You need to
153.
call that one.
Okay. R-23-153, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a license agreement with Hyper Fiber LLC.
Go ahead, Ms. Ross.
Move to adopt.
I thought- All right, there's a motion to adopt, now second. Now, Ms.
Okay.
Ross, please.
Okay, so this is for pole attachment only, correct?
Where is Ryan? Ryan, the way I read that, come on up real fast, because it's pole attachments only. I think we're getting $20 per pole, but help me if you don't mind with that, please. Go ahead.
No, that was my question. There's
Well,
no
and
cut-
they're here tonight, too, if
Right,
you
well,
want.
no, I mean, I know it's a pole attachment. I just want to make sure that there was nothing that I missed where they will be tearing up the streets or cutting into the streets. I'm sick and tired of the utilities just totally tearing our streets up, so I just.
No, this is just a pole attachment.
$20 pole attachment per year, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And then later, there'll be a franchisee.
Mr. Baxter.
Well, and I know that, Ms. Ross, you have a thing about what else hanging off a pole. So I asked that question, what kind of accoutrement might be hanging off the pole? And they said it's nothing but wire.
Jared,
So
you want-
nothing, no big boxes or anything like that. So,
Jared's here, and I think he's got, so appreciate you coming forward for this. So Jared, if you want to, please, 'cause there's nothing out there we should be alarmed about, or if you want to, go ahead, please.
No, there's nothing to be learned about. First of all, thank y'all for seeing us on the agenda tonight.
So that's correct. It is a pole attachment agreement. However, there is a separate city franchise agreement to place underground
We're
utilities.
about to get that too, so.
And to what
Ross?
Councilmember Baxter said too, the Franken poles, I know is what you're getting at, is the boxes that the poles are covered, so there won't be any. Okay, that's all I had.
And Kyle, would you identify yourself for, both of you all, with your first and last names for the minutes?
My name is Kyle Graham. I'm with Hyperfiber. I'm the Director of Construction.
Jared?
My name is Jarrett Thompson. I'm the market manager with Hyperfiber for the
Thank
state of
y'all.
Arkansas.
Thank you. Anybody, where are we right now? I'm sorry, Mr. Harris.
I just want to back up here and get some better understanding. So this is to improve internet, I guess, for.
That's correct. Hyperfiber is a fiber-to-the-home business. We are new to the state of Arkansas, and we're looking to currently serve underdeveloped areas that don't currently have high-speed access available.
So when you say underdeveloped areas, are we talking residential, businesses, or just businesses?
Just residential.
Just residential?
Yes, sir. Anything that doesn't currently have a gig or better speed available are the neighborhoods that we are targeting.
So how does our, as a citizen, how do we report that we don't have good service? I mean, how do we talk to the city?
We utilize information provided by the FCC to determine the areas that are not currently served with those speeds.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I want to chat with y'all a little bit. So, anyway, all right.
Where are we?
Move for adoption.
Motion to adopt? There is a second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Sulaco? And Height?
Yes.
Okay, y'all are good. Until the franchise.
I think we're on, what, new business, new resolution?
Business.
Okay,
R23-155, Mayor Hartwick.
please.
A resolution amending the 2023 budget for the city of North Little Rock to include additional revenues and expenses in certain budgets.
Second.
Motion second.
On the motion, Ross?
Hang on, she's got a question.
Could Ember come explain?
Where were you? I saw you earlier. Thank you.
Good evening. So this is a budget amendment to make amendments in the general fund, the parks fund, street, and our two sales tax funds. In the general fund and the parks fund, a lot of this is really related to the tornado. So I've gone through and completed a mid-year assessment of where we stand on our revenues. So if you look at Exhibit A, you'll see general licenses, business permits. Those have already exceeded their annual budget, so I just adjusted those numbers to where they're at currently. Interest income, we're already estimated to exceed that budget, as well as the city and county tax. When we were working on the budget last year, You know, the last couple of years, sales tax has been up as a result of the inflow of COVID money and those sort of things. So we were conservative when we did that budget. Looking through the sales tax analysis these last couple of months, there has been some construction type, that NAICS code has been up, probably related to everyone going out and fixing things from the tornado. But I've done a worst case scenario for sales tax through the end of the year and feel comfortable adjusting the budget as you see it here. City sales tax 4 million, county 1.5, and then of course $500,000 and $1 million gets transferred to the capital funds. Increasing the tornado expense, $3 million. You just saw Crowder Gulf and Tetra Tech. Their bills, unfortunately, are not cheap. If you remember, right after the tornado hit, we did an amendment for $2 million for the tornado. We're just about at that, so we needed to increase that money to continue to pay those bills. And aid to parks, $232,000. If you flip to the next page, you'll see I went ahead and did an analysis of where we stand in the Parks Fund. Since we've had several of our facilities closed this year, we had to decrease a lot of those revenues. The good news is the food and lodging tax is up, and we were able to offset the majority of the increased cost for our part of the tornado relief with without really needing much from the general fund at all. The $232,000 is really, I was pretty happy with that. Street fund, we just had a couple of expenses where the departments needed some more money. The street maintenance contracts where we implemented a couple of years ago where they go out and fix things. They've already reached their budget there. Kenny Stevens needed some new street cabinets. Those things are $20,000 a piece. And Patrick Lane had some unexpected expenses that made his budget in maintenance of buildings and grounds go up. In the sales tax capital improvement fund, we had 2 departments that have been impacted by recall notices, and we need to get budgets to get them some new vehicles if we don't get those vehicles back. There was a recall on the airbags, so they're not safe because the airbags possibly won't deploy, and right now we don't have an estimated time frame from any local dealers or manufacturers on when that could get fixed. So if they were in a wreck, no airbag deployed, that could be very dangerous. And then in the 2023 sales tax capital fund, that's just increasing the revenue, which is associated with the increase in the general fund. So long story short, I was very pleased that we weren't dipping into any reserves to cover our expenses at this moment.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I got one question. Monies that we have asked for from FEMA, we're getting close, you told me the other day.
We are. So the FEMA process is very time consuming. Right now, we've got a $10 million project in that we're this close to getting obligated. I hope in the next couple of days. They sent over a question today. I need to just make a small revision, and this is on debris removal and monitoring. Once a project gets obligated with FEMA, then it goes to the state, to ADAM, the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management. They said it takes about another 3 weeks for them to review it. We can request 25% upfront, no questions asked, but it's just a very time-consuming process. Kim and I have been working with FEMA daily on to try to get our money back as soon as possible.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you, member. So where are we again? I think is off.
On the motion.
On the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R23-156, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an agreement to rehabilitate property for certain real property located at 1724 Maple Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Move to adopt.
Motion adopt. There's
On-
Ms. Ross.
Second.
There's a second. Ms. Ross,
Is the applicant here?
they are. Do you want to see them, or where you want to
I
go?
just want to make sure that they understand because the, Paul
Paul,
Minton is
if you
not
don't mind coming forward, I think Ms.
Didn't know
Ross
if he
got a
was the
question for
actual
you.
owner or just the
Let's ask him.
applicant
Miss,
for.
go ahead, identify yourself, sir.
Excuse me?
Go ahead and identify yourself.
Paul Minton.
All right, the question to you from Ms. Ross is,
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure, now, are you the owner of the property? or
Yes.
You're the owner of the property, that PR Properties?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to make sure anytime we do, that you know it's 180 days, correct, to get your certificate of occupancy, once you sign that?
180 days? Well, that'd be nice.
Because, you know, we've had people come back and said they didn't know, so anytime we do one, I want to
Well,
make sure that everybody knows.
You know, I also build houses.
Okay, so
And if
you
I
can
get a
knock it
And
out.
if I can get a house built in a year, I'm doing really good.
Okay, well,
And we're waiting on quotes and a lot of other subcontractors, so 180 days may not be realistic.
but that's in the agreement that you are going to sign.
I understand, but I think we also have an option to ask for more time if we need it. And my guess is we will.
Make sure
So I
If you
just
make
want-
substantial progress, I'll always be willing to offer extra time.
Substantial.
I'm sorry, what?
If you make substantial progress, I will always be willing to offer more time. I'd rather see a house being rehabbed than torn down, so thank you.
Yeah, and we've made good progress, and it's gonna be a good house. But getting people to show up, let me tell you,
I've walked through it, the bones are excellent. I'm sure you're gonna do an excellent job.
thank you.
thanks, Paul. Hang on, Mr.
But we don't want to enter into an agreement with the understanding that, I mean, we might as well just, based on what you're saying right now, is you can't do it in 6 months.
I'd be surprised if we could.
And-
And it's not because we don't want to.
And I have talked to both the mayor and council member Taylor about this rehab agreement predates me. And it's the same form that's been used by the city for many years about, especially with supply chain issues, whether there is a need to look at extending the timeframes in this. I would need, like, I'm just the lawyer, I'm not a policymaker, so, you know, if somebody wants the city attorney's office to look at the contract and relook at the timeframes in there to make them more realistic based on how the state of the construction industry is right now, I'm more than happy to do that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I guess my only problem is we know what the agreement says, but you're coming to the microphone already saying that I don't think I can do it in 6 months. So to me, that's,
I've been waiting for 3 weeks for an electrician to show up and set a utility pole, and I'm still waiting. You know, it's- Now, we're still working in the meantime, but that's the problem we're having is, I don't know why, but that's just the construction industry. We'll do everything we can. Obviously, you don't make money if you don't get it built as soon as possible, but I've dealt with this for several years now in Fayetteville, Cabot, and several other locales, and it's the worst I've ever seen. That's just the real truth. And when you're doing a rehab, you gotta tear all this stuff down before you can really start. You know, on the inside, and this house was 100 years old, 12-foot ceilings, it was all plaster and lattice.
I've been by the house.
It takes a long time.
I get it, but I know.
We want to do it right. You know, we want to do it though right.
I understand. I understand. But still, if we already know that the agreement says 6 months, I think coming here with the mindset that you can't do it in 6 months, it's just a problem. But I mean,
I'm just saying it's not a realistic time frame, most likely, unless you want to bring in, you know, somebody you can't afford.
And I think that we have seen repeatedly that is the case, and Councilmember Taylor called me, as a matter of fact, last week and asked me, why do people call me and ask for an extension? I'm like, because this is our agreement, we treat people the same, and I don't have the authority to extend an agreement. And so that's why you have parties to rehab agreements calling you all from time to time seeking extensions on their rehab agreements. And I do think that it would probably be prudent of the city. I'm not a construction expert. I don't know what appropriate timeframes are, but to maybe revisit this and come up with something where we're not having the same repeated problem of people not being able to people who are trying,
Okay.
not be able to complete.
Ms. Ross?
Okay, I have one question. How long do you think it's gonna take you? I mean, I know a lot of people that are rehabbing houses and they're
Well,
not having any trouble
You know,
with it.
because we are not having to do everything, and some of the stuff we don't know till we get there. For example, the roof, although
Oh,
it looks
I
pretty
know
good,
all
I think
about
we
it,
gotta
yeah.
replace
Right,
it.
yeah.
And I think.
No, I'm just,
I think-
how long?
I think a realistic time frame is 270 days, or what it says, maybe 9 months to be totally done.
Any more questions? Where are we?
On the motion, Ross?
No.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yeah, yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
You got it. Thanks,
Thank you.
Paul. Yes, sir. Thanks, Larry.
R23-157, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution removing Mike Ross from his position on the Civil Service Commission.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R23-158, Councilmember Hamilton.
Call it, please.
A resolution accepting a license and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a community garden license agreement with American Fellowship of Churches Veterans Trail Garden.
Move to adopt.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R23-159, Councilmember Ross and Hamilton.
Please call it.
A resolution accepting the bid and authorizing mayor and city clerk to enter into into a contract with Escamilla Excavating LLC for Gum Street improvements from 15th Street to 16th Street.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion adopted, second.
On the motion, Ross?
Can I just say one thing? This is our CDBG project.
It is, and I see Bailey out there if you want to ask her a question.
I was thinking, not too long ago, back in the old days, it would take like 120, 150,000 to complete one block, but the sidewalks, and now it's up to 320. That's just the difference why, people don't understand why we can't get things done.
I
But
think we just
the price-
discussed that in a, just a while ago,
Right.
didn't we?
Well, I know, but no, this is on cost. This is not on
I
being
know,
able to get it done on
I
time.
understand. I really do. What she's saying is, everybody, is that you got a 13th to see, you got one block that you're redoing. And it was a lot cheaper about a year or two ago, so.
No, several years ago, but.
Several
yeah.
years, but again, so back to, where are we?
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R23-160, Mayor Hartwick.
Let's go ahead and do that, and I'll read it, and then I'll call a public hearing on it, okay?
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with the Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 609 West 50th Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas.
So move.
Second.
Motion second, and at that point, I'm going to convene a public hearing. Those wishing to speak for or against R23-160, please come to the microphone. Seeing none, I'll adjourn this public hearing, please.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R23-161, Mayor Hartwick.
Please again.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with the Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 715 East 14th Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion adopt second. This one I will convene a public hearing. Those wishing to speak for or against R23-161, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll adjourn the public hearing.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R23-162, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution approving and certifying amounts of liens to be filed with the Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real properties in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas as a result of grass cutting expenses and abatement of other nuisances.
Move for adoption.
Second.
There's a motion second. Before we go forward, there is a convene a public hearing on this. Those wishing to speak for or against R23-162, please come to the microphone. Seeing none, I adjourn this public hearing.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O2352, Mayor Hartwick.
Please, call it.
An ordinance reinstating and amending the retirement benefit plan for members of the North Little Rock City Council, declaring an emergency, first reading.
Move we waive all readings.
Second.
Motion waived, second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes. Move for adoption.
Okay, I'm going to ask you all to do something because I've had some contact from a former city council member that did not serve when we had a retirement system in effect. And the mayor had asked me about this. I'm like, no, if you're not a city council member when there's a retirement system in effect, then you're not entitled to it. For clarity, I would like to ask if one of the city council members would move for an amendment that would say in section 1, in this first sentence, that any person who shall serve as an appointed or elected city council member of the city of North Little Rock, and then the amendment would be on or after the effective date of this ordinance, then for a period of not less than 16 years shall be entitled, just so that there's not any confusion.
There's no questions about it.
Yeah.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you.
Did you get the amendment?
On the,
Go ahead, did you get that? All right, thank you. On the amendment.
on the motion to amend, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes. I've already moved for adoption.
Now,
As-
would you
now
move for
as
adoption as amended?
As amended.
As amended.
Okay.
Second.
I'm listening.
Second.
There's one now.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
No.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
No.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O2353, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
An ordinance providing for the collection of a franchise fee from Hyperfiber LLC on services provided within the municipal boundaries of the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, providing for the method of payment thereof, declaring an emergency, first reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
Motion second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Jared, you asked for public comment on this. You want to do this now, or you want to wait to the end? And it looks like you're getting approval, so that's my question to you. Leave it alone? All right, I've got a motion and a second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R2354, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 9559, which established a comprehensive code to regulate issuance of and conditions associated with short-term residential rental business licenses, declaring an emergency, first reading.
Move we waive all readings.
Second.
Second.
Motion second.
On the motion, Ross?
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I'll come right back to you, okay? Motion to waive all readings, and I'm coming back to Ms. Ross.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Can we get it on the floor first with a motion and a second?
Well, I thought we just did.
No, I thought.
No, I was
think we
waive the
just
readings.
did.
Waive the
Move for
reading.
adoption.
Vote for adoption.
Second.
Motion is second. Now, Ms. Ross.
No, I just, clarification with the city attorney. This is just to clarify, to clean up the language, correct? Is
That
the-
is correct
Thank you. I
because
just
of
want
the
to, there's no
confusion.
changes, there's
No,
nothing. It's
right.
just a clarification. So I just want to make sure that everyone understood that that was all it was.
Yes.
So now
So-
there's a motion and a second.
I've got a question.
Mr. Hamilton?
So if we say no to this, are we allowed to do a special use?
If you say no to it, the ordinance, my interpretation of it is still, this is still what the law is. This just makes the language a little clearer.
So there's some wiggle room if we don't.
I don't know exactly.
ma'am.
No, there's not.
Okay.
There's not.
On the,
So a question,
Go ahead, Mr.
so there's no reason to do this?
Because of the confusion that existed, it is to provide clarification. There is no change, and there is no change.
changes nothing.
There's no change in my interpretation of the ordinance. So, yes, that's correct. It just cleans up the language a little bit.
on the motion, Ross.
Yes?
Hamilton.
No.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
No.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
R 2355. Mayor Hartwick.
I think that's Mr. Hamilton.
Oh, I apologize. Councilmember Hamilton.
Or 2355.
Short-term rental on jail.
Yes.
Oh, 2355.
Please call it.
Oh, an ordinance granting a special use to allow a type 2 short-term rental in an R4 zone for certain real property located at 2917 John F. Kennedy Boulevard in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency.
Move we
First reading.
suspend all readings.
Second.
Motion suspended and second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes. Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion adoption and second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O 2356.
We have an
Oh, I'm
emergency.
sorry, I apologize. On the emergency. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O 2356. Councilmember Robinson?
Deborah,
call it.
excuse me, Deborah, I did that on purpose. Is it okay with you? Okay, I thought so. I just want to be sure. Okay. She signed up to speak is the reason I was saying that, so. I know it, but I knew you didn't, so, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead. On 23.
Councilmember Robinson?
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow a law office in an R2 zone for certain real property located at 412 West 5th Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
So move.
Second.
Ms. Ross, there's a motion and second, but Ms. Ross.
Oh, I guess I'm just questioning, why is this not considered a home-based business?
Because under the zoning ordinance as it stands now, there are only a limited number of types of businesses that are home businesses. Planning and I have spoken about updating that, and it's in the process and hasn't been done yet. So in the meantime, because only specific types of businesses are identified, we need a special use for this.
Ms. Ross?
Okay, so the other thing, there's nothing in here as far as hours of operation? Was that, normally
Are
when
you-
we have
is
something
Miss-
like this, Niccolo?
May I bring her up here if you don't mind, Ms. Ross? Come on up, please, and identify yourself if you don't mind.
Yes, Nikki Nicolo. I'm an attorney. I live in the house, and I just want to be able to have clients over there. And I don't have any employees. I have a legal assistant that comes in and helps me on things a couple days a week, but she's not an employee of the business. She's an independent contractor. And then I have like a law clerk who does most of his work from home. I worked off 4th Street since 2011, and then built this house, reconstructed this house last year, and now I want to be able to have people come in there, but it's not, I've never had more than 2 people at any given time. I run my office, just me, and the attorneys that I associate with have their own offices. One is usually in Cabo, Sam Peroni. One is usually in Clinton, Arkansas, and the other has his own office in West Little Rock. So you're not gonna have a lot of traffic coming in and out. I also have an alley in the back where I built a parking lot, so nobody will be parking in my front. So as far as hours of operation, I don't think people would be coming in on Saturday or Sunday unless we were preparing for a trial and I had court the following Monday or Tuesday.
I just know in other businesses, you know, like this, that we would put hours, I mean, I'm fine with that. I was just bringing that up, that we
Gotcha.
need that.
So just stay there. So anybody have more questions? If not, we're on.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes, yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
02357, I believe that was pulled. Was that being pulled?
Actually, on that one, Councilmember Harris, the applicant had sent an email saying that they wanted to hold off. I have forwarded that to you, and my response was that we can't pull it. You could either withdraw it or hold it. I wasn't sure on the time frame of their delay.
Please hold.
Okay. R2358, Councilmember Baxter.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow concession trailer sales in a C4 zone for certain real property located at 3805 MacArthur Drive in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
We'll move to suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
02350,
You're okay
Fine.
with, you're okay, right? Okay, thank you. All right. 02359, Height and,
Councilmember Height and an Insulaco.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow outdoor spa displays and sales in a C3 zone for certain real property located at 3929 McCain Boulevard in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency for consideration only. First reading.
I know it's down here for consideration only, but can we move to waive all readings?
You can.
yeah, it's an ordinance.
Pardon me?
It's an ordinance, you can
Yeah.
waive it, yes.
Move to waive all readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes. Now, is Sean Spencer here?
John's in the back.
Move to
John, will
adopt.
you,
Hang on a second.
We gotta-
Sean, I've got to ask for.
We
will
got
you
a
make
motion.
some progress in getting us unconfused
Mr. Height,
on
Mr.
why we did this?
Mr. Height, I got to beg your pardon for just a second.
Move to adopt.
Motion to adopt,
Second.
and there's a second. Now, Mr. Spitzer.
All activity has to be within a building, not, and this is a tent, so it would fall under a special use. So we could add conditions if needed. But the ordinance says it must be inside of a structure. So that's why we're here.
Even though it's already zoned for it.
It's
Correct.
zoned, yeah, so all activity, so when someone's doing a cell phone out of a tent in a parking lot, they're
they're doing that improperly.
Okay, do we need a motion?
We have one.
We have one. There's our one. Ms. Ross?
I'm trying to remember when I was watching Plain, did they not say that this was going to be a temporary thing,
It'll be one time a year.
one time a year? Okay,
So we may want to add that to
I don't see any, I'm trying to.
one of the, as a items there. But their letter that's included in there says they even give the dates. They want to do it August 3rd
Just
through
says
9th.
it's
is only valid
valid
for
7
7
days from the
days.
raising
So,
of
yeah,
the
so when-
tent. So, I mean, how many times can they raise the tent, I guess is what I'm,
Yeah, and I honestly, I thought it was a one-time thing. I didn't know it was an annual thing. So I would see, are they gonna come every year, Sean?
That's the way I understand it.
Do
yes.
we
Oh,
have an
there we
applicant
go.
here?
I'm sorry.
Please-
It
please-
could be once.
Please identify yourself.
I'm sorry, I'm
That's
Wendy
okay.
Stevens. I represent Southeast Spas out of West Palm Beach, Florida. But what we do is weekly, we have a spa sale. It either could be in a tent or in a building, fairgrounds, whatever. And this is what they found over here. We were seeing if we can do that over here. And it'd be just a week. The tent goes up on Wednesday, and then we would be out the following Wednesday.
So what you're really doing is you're bringing spas up to put them in a tent, to auction them off, have people come by, buy them, and you do it for one
Right.
week.
Right, and then we deliver them out of there.
Okay.
And they're gone by Wednesday, one time. Or if they want us, if they allow us to come back, then we would. If not.
It's
you know,
just a one-year event so far you're asking for, right? A one-time
Right.
deal. And then if you come back again, you gotta do this again. You,
Right.
okay with that? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Anybody?
One time
For this year?
for this year.
Because next year.
What about 2024?
She just I think I understood you say if you come back in 2024, you'll come back and do this again, correct?
Right, correct.
doesn't sound right to me. It's not, this isn't,
Anybody else?
it's not clear.
Before we've done it in Little Rock and we did it at the fairgrounds.
I knew you was at the fairgrounds. I remember seeing you there, so it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Anybody else?
Don't make sense.
I think that, Mr. Ross.
sorry, did
I
you-
mean,
I
Mr.
saw you.
Ross.
Well,
Mr.
I'm listening to my
Taylor.
colleague here, Councilwoman Robinson. Why would we, I mean, if we're gonna give them a conditional use to do it for 1 week, why don't we just give them, I don't wanna listen to this again next year.
And I'm sorry, what?
I mean, if we're gonna let you do it, then, I mean, we should let you do it once a year and be done with it.
And not have to pay the special use application fee again and go through that? Do you want them to be able to come annually? We could add,
It doesn't say it's a one-time.
I was about to say that if somebody wanted to amend paragraph 4 to say the tent permit is valid for 7 days from the raising of the tent, sales shall be allowed one time per calendar year.
I'll make that amendment. That clarifies it because it just says 7 days.
I
from
like
the
that
raising.
better.
And I'd like to add too, I mean, they may not want to come back
I know.
because, it depends, like, if they have.
How many spas
If
they
it's-
sell? Yeah,
Right.
it all depends on how
No,
much money
if
they
they
make.
sell 2 spas,
Baxter?
we don't want to come back.
Yeah.
So help me out here. Isn't the tent permit something separate from the special use? Aren't we looking at two different things? You have the special use and then you have a tent permit. So help me out, again, I didn't catch this
The tent
until
permit
this
would be-
discussion, but, so as far as that property is concerned, that whole little quasi piece of pie there, so as it's zoned special, can somebody come in and put a tent elsewhere? Well, they'd have to get a tent permit, right? But as far as a special use, it could go anywhere on the property. Is that correct?
This group here will have the option of coming in once a year, if you do the amendment. They'll have the option of coming in once a year for a tent real close to that location. I mean, we're not gonna go out and make them move it 5 feet one direction or something, but somewhere in between those 2 rows of cars.
And I believe it was in the rear, behind the mall?
Yeah, that's the red box up there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I think somebody made a motion to amend
amend that
paragraph
to-
4 to add a sentence that
Second.
says sales shall be allowed one time per calendar year. And there's a
7
second.
days, for 7 days.
Okay, one time per calendar year for 7 days.
There's a motion, here, second. Ms. Whitby?
Under number 4.
Section 2, paragraph 4.
Number 4.
Okay,
So there's a motion and a second.
There's a motion.
on the motion to amend, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes?
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt as amended?
Move to adopt as amended.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
I have 2 public comments. Ms. Hattie Temple, did I pronounce that correct? Come on up to the microphone, please, ma'am. You have 3 minutes, if you don't mind.
Hi, everybody. My name is Hattie Temple, and I live in North Little Rock, and I've been going through something with the housing, at first it was housing, now it's, night development. The buildings were did so poor till everything's going down. I did a press conference 3.5 years ago, and in this press conference, I allocated that if you go to every one of her buildings, you're gonna find something wrong in every one of them. I proved that 2 times now. Now, I had some paperwork ready, but I didn't have enough copies, so mind you, don't put this against me, but I will be back next council meeting with y'all some pictures. But this one, what I want to ask you, Mayor. Mayor, you said we could prove it was mowed somewhere, you would go there, right? If you go to Cedar Falls right now and go to the director room, they painted it once when we had other pictures. We got some more pictures now, it's just ridiculous. And I went to a woman's house the other day, and I've been sick ever since I went in there. Her whole ceiling is busted. It don't make no sense, Mayor Hall. It don't. All that money the government gave them folks to fix our buildings, for us to live like that. Oh, Mama said, oh, do we do housing? He did not say put everybody down. Redoing housing didn't have nothing to do with them taking half our money, because that money didn't make it to them buildings. And I know I don't have a 3 minutes. I had 3 copies. I need 11, so I couldn't give you my pictures.
I was out there, as you know, last week? I brought Felicia, I brought Cedric from the, our code enforcement. I talked to 2 of your managers, if I'm not mistaken. And Felicia, are you here somewhere? Ward, where are you, Ward? Did Felicia go over this with you, sir? Because I was out.
I heard they wouldn't let you in.
They didn't let me in, no.
They didn't let you in, but see, now I have some people that you can call them. They'll come down there and meet you. That's how serious I am about this. I don't do nothing backbiting.
Okay.
That's why I
Ward,
come every time it's a newspaper or something, I'll be in it.
got you. Ward, I think Felicia and Cedric and I was there, talked to both managers. We said, I think Felicia, go ahead and said, Felicia said we have to have comments per apartment people saying they will sign off for us to come in.
That is correct.
And I don't believe we got any.
No, sir. And we have not had any
hang on a
complaints
sec.
to date to our department or from the manager.
Okay. Now, go ahead, I'll let you, I just want to tell you where we were on this, ma'am.
Your Honor, they told you to give them 30 days to do a work thing. I heard they told you that. Turn in a work thing and to give them 30 days to do it. Well, sir, we've been doing that for 3.5 years. I moved from Hickory View to Old Eastgate, and I'm gonna tell you something. Ain't now both the buildings is the same. It's the work that was did, how much money they cut, how many corners they cut. I got water come when it rain, my floor be wet in my living room, sir. I don't feel like that's fair. You don't live like that. Housing is a human right. It's a human right. I don't stay there free. I'm not a freeloader. I pay my bills. Why my house have to be like that? Why them women sitting in the budget? And the code man, you know, one of your city inspectors signed off on that building, on them buildings. I got a closeout report to tell me the man's name that signed it, and there ain't no way, but it didn't meet code when I went from the 3rd floor to the 11th floor.
Here's the deal, right now. I've been out there, that's your 3 minutes. Do me a favor, get what you're talking about, bring it to my office. You don't have to see me personally, just leave it there. I'll have code enforcement come out there and take a look at it if I have to show up there personally.
But I want the right code man, sir,
Well,
because I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
sit,
some,
the
some
person I'm
boo-boo
gonna sit,
going on.
hey, the person I'm gonna sit's not a man, it's the director, okay?
Okay,
Thank
all
you,
right.
I got you. All right, the next person is Darren Gray. Darren Gray, yes, sir. Yes, sir, 3 minutes, please.
Praise the Most High God, Hi, Yeshua HaMashiach, and the Ruach HaKodesh. How y'all doing? I'm Darren Gray. I own the property. Y'all gonna have to give me a minute because this has been a long ordeal. I own the property at 2506 East Washington Avenue. Now, I came in 2019. I paid for a dumpster right down here from these people. It was never delivered. I stayed in this state, in this city for a year. Me and my wife, we lived at the Links where you can golf. We lived in those apartments so I could rehab this house. Now, during this time, I had to pull the plaster out of my house. I paid for a dump, it never showed up. So we carried the plaster out by hand, put it in boxes, and set it on the curb. Now, my house was recently, what is that word called? Condemned. And I received a letter that said I had to come up here and ask y'all for an extension or something like this on August the 14th. Now, my house was condemned because it said it had a hole in the roof. I got the hole fixed last week. And I just had a man stop through there today, a company, and they say, no, my house is not condemned. Now, there's a structure in the back that contains asbestos, and that's fallen down, and it has been such. But the entire time while I was here for that year, my tools got stolen, my house got broken into 50 times over here. I need to find out how we gonna get some protection, how I'm gonna get some everything I need to rehab my house over there. I don't wanna hear about no extensions and things of this nature because it takes time because you guys don't have anybody protecting anything over there. For a while, you didn't even have any lights. I boarded my stuff inside the house, bolted it in, and every time I came back, gone. Every time I tried to get my dumpster that I paid for, it still has not been delivered. Still hasn't been delivered. So when you condemn my house and it's not condemned, an inspector went in there today and he said he's gonna have to find out by drilling a hole in my foundation, in the floor to go in. But right now it just looks like I need to replace just a piece in the floor. But I've already replaced the ceiling. I don't want my house condemned. I don't want to be on a timeline till you guys can assure me. Now, granted, my lawyer's in Africa right now. He's building a house with his wife. He's got her dowry. But I don't want my house condemned on the fact that you guys, there's no business down through here. I see things happening and flourishing over here. Now, mind you, I used to live here. I used to come here and connect the codes for some of my relatives because they had owned a lot of these houses, and I used to go in and fix them so they could get their Section 8 when I was a young lad. But I'm an old dude now, and it takes a lot to get somebody, because I live in Oklahoma City now. I just moved away from it because I can't get any participation pertaining to fixing up that building. And then you got all these, I need to see some sort of guideline as to what I can put there. I would like to put a lot of things. I'd like to flatten it, actually, and put, you won't let us put small. Every time I look around, you can't do anything here. So what I want to know is, how can I get, I got 3, is my 3 minutes up?
Yeah, your 3 minutes is up.
Okay, you go knock yourself out.
All right, so what I'm asking for you, you've contacted the person that you said you got a dumpster from, and they're not gonna give you a dumpster.
That dumpster was bought right down here at that first window in 2019.
We don't sell dumpsters, sir.
Well, you used to. I
No.
got a receipt for it.
We have never that
I
I
have
know.
a receipt, so I'm a liar.
Well, we don't know if you're lying, but we
Do I
never.
need to
see-
bring my
Let's put
paper?
it this way. Yeah, bring me your paper, because
Okay,
I
I'll
don't
bring my
think.
paperwork back.
Have we ever
But
sold a dumpster?
aside from that,
Okay.
what
so-
are we gonna do about this situation?
Situation is, first, that you're saying we've condemned your house, is that correct?
You did condemn my house.
I will sit there and.
Based on,
Based on?
I'm asking you, what did you condemn it based on?
I don't know what we've got. I don't even know. This is the first time I've ever met you.
Oh, okay.
And you're telling me we sold you a dumpster, which we never sold you a dumpster.
Okay, we passed that point.
All right, the second thing is, let me see what your problems are. Ward, are you still here? Yes. All right, Ward, do you know anything about this, sir? Do you know anything about it? Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
We condemn.
So
the
bring
structure.
us up to date. I've heard, so where are we on this, please?
He needs to sign a rehab agreement.
He has not signed the rehab agreement, so he's been to the attorney's office and not signed anything, right?
Why do I need to sign a rehab agreement? With who? Are somebody gonna pay for it? Besides me?
Are you
So
looking at,
why am I signing a rehab agreement with you guys unless you guys are gonna do the rehabilitation?
It's the part of the way, if you're gonna do, all right, let's do this. Ward, do me a favor. bring me up to date tomorrow. He needs to sign a rehab agreement. I think he needs to probably go with you, Amy, if you know anything about it.
I don't know anything about this. When was your house condemned?
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay, then you need to talk to Rick Hogan, and if you.
Wait a minute, one at a time, please.
Are you frustrated?
Yes, sir, I am frustrated. All right, then, so here's the deal, real fast, Miss
I
Amy.
said, if you want, the way that we do things, once your house has been condemned, in order for us not to demolish it, you have to enter into a rehab agreement. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. If you don't, your house will be demoed based on the condemnation that you were given notice for at the city council meeting where it was condemned.
You understand, sir?
I wasn't at any city council meeting where my house was condemned without my wishes. I've been to court and entered anything to let us know I want my house condemned. But all of the experts that went into my house says my house shouldn't have never been condemned. So what I'm asking is, why should I, and I'm only asking one question, why do I need to, see, that's what I thought when Rick sent me the first letter. He says, you should enter into a rehab agreement. And then I called and no answer. So I drove here and he wouldn't see me. I came all the way from here a couple of weeks ago, went all the way to the office, saw that dude over there. He was over at that other office. But what I'm saying is, explain to me, because I'm stupid, why would I enter into a rehab agreement with you unless you are paying for the rehabilitation?
Sir, I can tell you why. The city has ordinances that says you will enter into a rehab agreement. The rehab agreement says you will do certain work, and you probably heard earlier that you will do certain work to this area on a certain time frame. If you do not want to sign that rehab agreement, it's your choice. Do you understand? So it's at your call, and I'm about to stop our 3 minutes.
Say again?
I'm about to stop the 3 minutes. Okay? So you got to, if you need to, you can come see the city attorney. I think you said Rick, so you go see him. You can call. All right, where are we now? Council members have any more comments? No. If not, if it says one more thing, please escort him out, please. All right, I'm asking for adjournment. Second. Second.
Apologize. On the motion, Ross? Yes. Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor? Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
Yes.
Hyatt?
Yes.
Who did I skip? Harris?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Harris.